Good evening, everybody. It is almost 8 o'clock. I know, spring just excites me so much, as does summer, because it's still light outside. It's so beautiful. So I came out here, I was calling my grandsons. Jaden, you see this tree back here? My grandson Jaden named that tree Brian. I don't know why Brian, but that's that tree's name. And I'm looking at all the flowers. It looks so beautiful. It's going to have a lot of apples. I believe this is our Honeycrisp. And then there's another tree over on that end. Let me just see. Let me walk over there. Because it's so tall, just like my grandson Logan. Look at this. How beautiful. Oh, where is it? Look at that. And look at all these beautiful flowers. And so this one's name is Alan. And my grandson Logan actually named it after his dad, Alan. And I was like, sorry, my pillow fell. I was like, oh my God, his father is so special. He named that tree after, his dad. So we asked him, why did you name him, Alan? And he said, well, because his favorite, Logan's favorite apples are the Granny Smith because they're tart. So we asked him, why did you name it Alan? And he says to us, because my dad is sour like the green apples. We thought that was hysterical. Anyway, I just came out. It feels a little bit like the temperatures have gone down. There's a breeze. And I'm just out here drinking my homemade, what is it called? Hibiscus flower tea with a little bit of lime and honey. And it's so beautiful. I didn't even have to boil the water. I just put it in the window. But I digress. The reason I came to do this video was I was sent a video the other day by one of my nieces. I have a really good relationship with most of my nieces, and we're really close. So this particular niece sent me this video. She's very wise, and she sent it with just a simple question. It just said thoughts. And so I'll be honest, I didn't answer her right away. I think she sent it to me last week, and I just responded to her earlier today. And so I watched it, and then I watched it again because the message sounded so powerful and so profound. But I listened again, and something just didn't quite settle for me. It just was not, the words were all good and the imagery was, but something was just not right. So I started paying attention to the words, the message that was being shaped out of this, reflection or message that the young lady was saying. And there was, right now, there's a lot of content that is meant to empower women. It's by women, for women. And I understand why. This content is speaking into real pain, real experiences that women are having. But I can understand we also have to be careful because sometimes things can sound real, feel right rather, and still not line up with scripture and what it actually says. And that's nothing new. That's the enemy. That's how the enemy works, close to the truth, but just off enough that it shifts things, if you know what I'm saying. So the video, I'm not going to introduce the name of the video. I'm not going to post it because I really don't want it. I don't want to give it any more traction. I just really wanted to touch on what the video was talking about. The young woman, she must have been in her 20s, like her early 20s. She was talking about Genesis and about Ezer Kenegdo. And please, scholars, do not come at me because I mispronounced the words. And she described the woman as a mighty warrior with a sword whose eyes are always in the horizon, watching for anything that might come against her husband, ready to take down any threat. This is how it was, I promise you. And then she describes the man using the words abad and shamar as the man's kneeling in the garden, tending to a delicate flower, serving, cultivating, and guarding his wife. Even saying that he would annihilate anything that came against her. And then she said that after the fall, those roles were reversed. And that word reversed, no me cayó. Like it didn't hit me. It didn't land right. And that was one of the first things that I was like, reverse, wait. So anyway, she said that now the woman is no longer looking for threats against her husband, but that she's looking for threats within her husband, and that now the sword is no longer protecting him, but that it's going against him. And then she says, and the man, he's no longer kneeling down in the garden. Now he's demanding that she kneels. So there's a lot to unpack there, but I'm just going to take it really slow and leave it very simple because the scripture is very, very simple. This is a strong picture and it sounds so empowering. And I can see why some women might take it in and, build this thing up in their head. But again, I had to go back. I had to check it. So I pulled up the concordance. I looked into my Blue Letter Bible app. Sorry, there's little bugs. And here is the thing. The word ezer is strong. Yes, she was right about that. It's even used for God. But scripture does not describe a woman as a mighty warrior with a sword. That imagery, she added that. And abad and shamar, they're about working and guarding. But in context, that instruction is about the garden. We know that Adam, he was tending to the garden. Not a man kneeling before a woman as if she's the center of everything. That was added by her as well. What scripture actually shows is something simpler, but honestly, more grounded. The woman was created because it was not good for man to be alone. She's a counterpart alongside him, not beneath him, not above him. And after the fall, things didn't flip, or like she said, what was the word that she used? Reverse. Things were fractured. That's a different story. That tells a different story. So what was meant to be unity now has some tension. What was meant to be trust now wrestles with control. And if we're not careful, we can take these distortions and start building whole ideas around them. That's why I wanted to just kind of, I guess, put in my 2 cents, even though nobody asked me. But since this is my Facebook, I'm sorry, I don't mean to say it like that. But I just, this is not to call anyone out. This is really an invitation to let's think about this. What do you think about this? So that's where this power struggle with man and women come in. I don't want something that just sounds empowering. I want what's actually aligned with the word. Even if it's quieter, even if it's not like wrapped in dramatic language, because truth does not need help to be powerful. It already is, right? So all of that to say, I would like to know what you guys think. And if I am wrong in anything, I welcome your constructive criticism. And I will look it up for myself And my husband and I will look into it because we can't be deceived. This is exactly what happened in the garden, and I think it's so prevalent. So many people, especially, not just women. Women want to encourage and empower one another, and that's all good, but we have to do it scripturally. And sometimes what happens is that our language does not uplift both female and male. You always want one to crush the other, and I don't get that. So anyway, cheers, and I'll catch you guys on the other side. Good night.